I'll call this regular meeting of council to order for April 25th, 2022. And first for recognition of Treaty 5 territory. I'd like to recognize that we are Treaty 5 territory and we are all treaty people. Can I have an approval of the agenda? City Manager?
There's a request from council that the item 6.1 be removed from the agenda tonight, which would result in item 6.2 being tabled to a future meeting. So we'd need a motion to remove item 6.1 from the agenda.
Councilor Wong. Councilor Ellsworth. All in favor?
Then you'll need an approval of the agenda as amended.
Okay, can I have an approval of the agenda as amended? Councilor Ellsworth and Councilor Crew. All those in favor? Okay, for community comments and feedback.
I have three things to bring up tonight. Ron Matichuk, by the way, 20 Ash Street. First of all, it's been several winters now that the Norplex pool has been shut down. I was wondering, are we heating that building in the winter months?
The Norplex pool can't be heated. The reason being that's what the electrical panel that actually failed and was never replaced. The way the building was being maintaining its heat was bleeding heat off the water, which caused the humidity issues. So once there's no hot water that's in the pool, there's no way to actually maintain heat in the building.
Okay, next question. A couple of weeks back, council had a tour of the Norplex pool. I was wondering, at that tour, did you observe any problems with the structural integrity of the Norplex? Is there a concern of any type?
There were a number of building issues noted, but there's no engineers on staff nor on council, so we'd have to get an independent engineer to assess if it's cosmetic or if it's structural.
Okay, finally, week before last on City Beat, our deputy mayor did the spot there, and it was asked whether there would be a public consultation on the Norplex pool, and the answer to that was yes. Is there yet a date?
The city does not have a date at this time, though they're working with the provincial and federal governments on some issues that they're working on, and that will determine the date that there could be a future meeting.
Event.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Is there anybody else? Any other community comments or feedback? I have to continue to ask 3 times. Nobody else here. Okay. Thank you. So for adoption of minutes, public hearing for bylaw 2021-2022, April 11th, 2022. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held in council chambers, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba on Monday, April 11th, 2022 be adopted as circulated. Moved by Councilor Ellsworth, seconded by Deputy Mayor Lambert. Any comments? Okay, approval of the resolution. Yep. Everybody?
You have to call the mover and seconder.
Sorry, that was Councilor Ellsworth. Oh,
Sorry, you already did that.
Yep.
You're right. My apologies.
Thanks, folks. Okay, move on to 5.2, regular meeting of council, April 11th, 2022. Resolution number 2022-077, moved by Councilor Crew, seconded by Councilor Ellsworth. Be it resolved that the minutes of the public hearing for bylaw 2021-2022 zoning bylaw amendment held in the council chambers, City of Thompson, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba on Monday, April 11th, 2022 be adopted as circulated. Comments, Councilor Crew? Have a show of hands for okay, call for the question. All those in favor? Got anybody? Okay, and moving on to resolutions, 6.1 and 6.2 have been deferred to the next meeting. 6.3. It's a resolution endorsing Council Wong to seek position on the FCM's Board of Directors. Resolution number 2022-079, moved by Councilor Ellsworth, seconded by Councilor Wong. Whereas the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, FCM, represents the interests of municipalities on policy and program matters that fall within the federal jurisdiction. Whereas FCM's Board of Directors is comprised of elected municipal officials from all regions and sizes of communities to form a broad base of support to provide FCM with the prestige required to carry the municipal message to the federal government. And whereas FCM's hybrid annual conference and trade show will be held on June 22nd or June 2nd to the 5th of 2022, during which time the annual general meeting will be held, followed by the election of FCM's Board of Directors. Be it resolved that Council of the City of Thompson endorse Councillor Wong to stand for election as a Manitoba Director on FCM's Board of Directors for a one-year term starting June 2022 and ending June 2023. Be it further resolved that Council assumes all costs associated with Councillor Wong attending FCM's Board of Directors meetings. City Manager?
Yeah, just to note that to put your name forward as a director for FCM requires the endorsement of council through resolution, which is why this resolution will be brought forward for Councillor Wong. And also our understanding is that there are up to 4 seats in the city for the province of Manitoba for FCM. And from the attendance at AMM, we believe that up to 3 seats may be opening up this year.
Thank you. Call for the question. Oh, sorry. Did you need to speak there? Councillor
Yes,
Ellsworth?
thank you, Deputy Mayor. I think it's always important when there's an opportunity to endorse a councillor, if it be AMM, FCM, or any other organization, and to have that representation, especially when it's locally, we can send someone. They can not only take our message, but bring out back information in between the conventions, what's happening out there, what we can apply for grants. There's a lot of information. Certainly a lot of people doesn't read. We do get follow-ups, but being there, sitting there when these decisions are made, I think it's crucial. And certainly an honor for me to endorse Councillor Wong for this. Thank you.
Councillor Wong?
I believe that's many years ago, we do have a councillor from Thompson that sit on the FCM board. It's Aaron, last name.
Okay.
Coles, yes, thank you. Yeah, so that's another reason that I like to seek for that position. Because northern part of the province, a lot of times here they don't understand what's going on out there. So hopefully I will successfully get that position in June. Yeah, thank you for the announcement.
Councilman Murdo?
Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor Lundmark. Much the same as Councillor Ellsworth had said, I think anytime we see one of our own represents, us at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, it really only benefit Thompson and its ratepayers. So certainly support Councillor Wong and wish him well.
Councillor Colbert?
I'll support Councillor Wong for this, but I want to talk a couple questions. What's the term?
I believe it's a one-year term.
So we got election come up. I know we won't get reelected. So, but what happens in this year? Well, the election year, is it different from other years or?
I'm not familiar enough with that program. I have to find out.
Okay,
Apologize for that.
okay, that's all. Thank you. Good luck.
With the AMM, if you aren't running for election and you don't get, it ends there. That's why I ran when it was in the AMM and I lost to the mayor of Churchill.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Mayor Smoke. Thank you. Yeah, there.
Yes, what happens is if Councillor Wong decides not to run or doesn't get reelected, then they do, that's why they have extra members. You do not get to sit on the seat unless you're an elected member. So after the election in October, then they do the final numbers and who will be representing everybody for 2023. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, we have 6.4. Yep, a resolution to approve 2021 as a tax sale year. Resolution. I'll read this up first. Resolution number 2022 080, moved by Councilor McMurdo, seconded by Councilor Crew. Whereas section 365(2) of the Municipal Act provides that council may in any year designate the immediately preceding year or any earlier year as the year for which properties, the taxes in respect of which are in arrears for the year must be offered for sale by auction to recover the tax arrears and costs. Be it resolved that the designated year for which properties in arrears be offered for sale be auctioned by auction be 2021, meaning all properties with outstanding taxes 2020 or prior. CFO Prince, please.
Yes, so this resolution just allows the properties taxes outstanding from 2020 or prior to be sent courtesy letters to start the process of the 2021 tax sale. The 2019 or the 2020 tax sale happened in April 7th, where 8 properties were sold from tax sale, but that was 3 years of property. So this kind of gets us up to current. Due to COVID, there was a delay, and now this would get us back on track. Ensure that's done annually so that all properties will have multiple years of that.
Thank you. Councilor Ellsworth.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Properties that weren't sold in the last tax sale, what happens to them?
I believe there were 2 properties that were not sold, and they are now inherited by the city of Thompson.
They fall off. So I believe there's a number of properties now that we've inherited over right along. What eventually happens to those properties? We're not collecting no tax on them. Do we send them to get them sold to real estate, or what do we do with them?
That's a decision of council, as it's now a city asset. Then council can decide if they're sold, if they're not sold, if they're donated, whatever council's decision.
So I'm gonna make a request, certainly all part and parcel, that council would be supplied with a list of properties that we have inherited from tax sales, so we can look at making some kind of decision in the future. Thank you.
Councilor Murdo.
Yeah, thanks, Member Longmore. Our CFO answered one of my questions. It was just with the time frame, having just concluded the tax sale previous on April 8th, and is it typical to be initiating another one here 3 weeks on? So I guess I just wanted to reassure residents, taxpayers that they were just following due process, and in this case, catching up because the limitations for COVID put on the winter. Thanks.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? It's unanimous. It's here. Cool. We're almost done here, but I'm sorry that we have regrets from Councilor Valentino and Councilor Fountain. 0.5. A resolution to approve the tabulation of prices for auditing services. Resolution 2022-081, moved by Councillor Ellsworth, seconded by Councillor Crew. Be it resolved that council will work a tender for audit services for 4 years to Baker Tilly HMA LLP for a total price of $109,000 plus additional taxes. And be it further resolved that council will work the optional audit services for the 6 entities to Baker Tilly HMA LLP for a total price of $43,600 plus additional tax. Councillor Ellsworth? Oh, sorry. I'll go to CFO.
Sure, so the RFP from the previous audit have expired. So one was submitted for a 4-year period. We had one response from a local company. The response equated to about 1.8% increase to the audit fees from the prior year.
Councillor Ellsworth.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Lundmark. I certainly support the resolution, and I like the part that it's been less that the indemnities that we fund throughout the city, and there's times we've had difficulty getting financial reports and slowed down our own report going to the provincial government. And so having this included as a part of this resolution, I would think it'll make life a lot easier, not only for us as a city, but certainly for those that requires the audit to be done as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Councillor Wong?
Thank you, Chair. Did the administration say this company is local? Okay, just want to clarify. I didn't hear my hearing problem. Anyway, I look at this pricing is acceptable, and plus one of the benefits is included all the control entity, so will be benefit for the city to award this contract. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's everybody here. Okay. Thank you. So moving to bylaws. Second reading of bylaw 2024-2022. Use of municipal resources and an election bylaw. Okay, resolution number 2022-082, moved by Councillor Wong, seconded by Councillor Crew. Be it resolved that bylaw 2024-2022, being a bylaw of the city of Thompson, be established that the use of municipal resources in an election year, an election bylaw, be given second reading.
Yes, the province amended the municipal act to require this in all municipalities. There's been discussion for several months about this, and there was also discussions at AMM, but this is a requirement and that it must be passed 180 days before the election, which I believe would be the 28th of April would be the deadline. Requires 3 readings as a bylaw. What it really does is it limits the use of municipal resources in support of councillors' elections or anyone who runs an election. So that would be the way that they work, write their signs, their use of their personal email for campaign purposes and other things. So the basic rules are based on the template provided by the province and are outlined in the bylaw that is attached for council. And the administration would recommend giving second and third reading this evening.
Councillor Wong.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we went to that AMN. They had a section to discuss about this. It's pretty educational, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. There's a good question asked. So I believe, is that province going to provide that education section for potential candidate to understand? No, actually, this is all for elected official, right? So yeah, so that's one of the things I asked about the photo. And it's all about when you post it. So if you take the photo today, you post it today, you're okay. But if you post it during the time, there will be a problem.
Yeah, just for clarification on what Councilor Wong said, I believe this creates a 45-day blackout period, I believe is what I said. 40 or something, yes, so that basically that period before the election, then
For the mayor's longer.
it controls what can be said and what resources can be used.
Councilor Ellsworth?
So I think it starts September, just so anyone's want to know, I think it starts September the 15th. 42-day lock. So after September the 15th, you can't use any of the city's material resources whatsoever. Whether you are running for mayor or council, that's what I understand. And to Duncan's point, if I took a picture, say 3 months ago, I still can't post it during that time, but before that time. So govern yourselves accordingly, or else you gotta pay $5,000.
6 months.
I'd love to spend that much. Okay, any other comments? Nope. Okay, hearing none. Call for the question. All those in favor? Everybody here. in favor? The next one has to be recorded, right? Okay, 7.2, third reading of bylaw 2024-2022. Resolution number 2022-083. Moved by Councilor Wong, seconded by Councilor Murdo. We have resolved that bylaw 2024-2022 be given third reading and that it do now pass. Administration.
Nothing further, only to note that this must be recorded vote for third reading.
Councilor Wong is mover.
Nothing else.
Are there any other comments or questions? Nope. Okay, call for the question. All those with the show of hands, please record the vote. Councilor Crew, Councilor Wong, Mayor Smoot, Councilor Ellsworth, Councilor McMurdo, Councilor Colburn, Deputy Mayor Lundmark. And any opposed? Nay. Okay, yeah, that's it. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Councilor Ellsworth, Councilor Wong, all those in favor?
Unless they're-